Right, let's talk about Robert Clive. Now, Robert Clive is a little bit different to some of the other guys because he's not fighting the Napoleonic Wars, he's fighting the 7 Years' Wars, which, if you remember, happens quite a bit earlier in the 1800s. So, what do we know about this guy? Well, first of all, as a child, he's a bit of a tearaway. He's a terrible child. Teenager years, awful. He gets expelled from 3 schools. That's how bad he is. He also sets up a protection racket. So business people have to pay him money to make sure that he doesn't damage their shops. So he's a very dodgy guy. So much so that his family are fretting about what the heck are we going to do with Rob. So they decide, well, the best thing to do with these kind of guys, send him off to the army. That's give him some discipline. So they send him off to the army, and he goes to India, and this is where he makes his living. He kind of rises up through the ranks of the army. So he's rising up through the ranks of the army, becoming more and more important, because actually military life really suits him. Now he mainly makes his name in the Battle of Plassey. What happens here is 68,000 Indians, given weapons by the French, fight 3,000 British people and Indians in a big battle. Now the French are giving the weapons to Indians because the French really want to control India. We'll talk about that in a second. So huge battle, massively outnumbered, 3,000 British-backed troops versus 68,000 French-backed troops. This is where Robert Clive really comes into his own. In the battle he shows brilliant courage, fantastic tactics, and the British win. Huge victory. Now what makes Clive so good is his brilliance in battle, and also his brilliance as a diplomat. Now hopefully you'll know that a diplomat is someone who's able to talk to people of different walks of life who might not necessarily have the same worldview. Robert Clive gets on really well with the Indians, makes really good friendships with them. So because of his friendships and his cooperation with them, the British are able to take more and more land and more control over India. So you might be wondering, what's the big deal? What's so great about India? Well, there's 3 things that we get out of India which is really valuable. We get tea, spices and silk. Now we take those things, we take them back to Britain, we sell the tea, and a lot of people, we talked about the 7 Years' War, remember the world loves tea, particularly in America, so we make a lot of money out of that. You whack tax on the tea. Second thing, spices, brilliant, same thing. World's loving spices in their food, whack a tax on it, Britain makes lots of money. And if you remember silks, the British are starting to have a really big clothing industry. People are wanting to buy British clothing. So again, take that silk, turn it into dresses, sell it on for a big profit. Again, British gets very, very rich out of it. So India is extremely valuable, and you can see why the French want it. They want to cut off that money. But the French fail mainly due to the work of Robert Clive. What a little age!